As the Strokes last night, 99X. Welcome to the House of Kennard. Been hanging out. Really, it should be the house of Julian Casablancas, because you're hanging out, taking over the radio station.
The house of the house.
The house of the house. Like when you hear last night, the biggest song. I guess that's probably the biggest song you guys have had overall. Here in the States, maybe. I mean, you guys have been successful, but let's say that song in particular.
Sure.
Would you ever hear it and then the brain starts working on how you can change it up a little bit? Because how many times have you played that song? I mean... Well,
it's funny. I wouldn't change it, no, obviously, but I did just notice like an edit, like a noise. Like you could tell, there's some vocal thing. I was like, oh, you could tell that was edited.
Oh,
that was a little harsh, a little bit of a blunt cut.
So you hear that? Like I've played that song more times than I could ever count. Like I never heard anything that sounds weird or abnormal in there.
You should play the end of it,
and I would hear it.
Yeah, I don't care, no. Oh, it's like
right.
Definitely, you can tell it's like a different
next
voice
time
comes in.
I'm gonna pay attention to it.
You notice that also? There's like I think it's like a Weezer song. I think it's "Say It Ain't So" or something. It's like definitely a same thing.
Some sort of a weird edit right there. Well, probably with that one, didn't probably have the money to go and like just keep that edit. No, we'll be fine, because since it was the original, the Blue album on that one. Yeah, because I know as bands are around for a while and as they play their hits, they over time they're like, oh, I got to play this again, or they try to find ways to to make it a little bit more exciting for them. Like I love both of my kids, but after a while, I might want to find a little something different to do with them, just to spice things up, I figure these songs are your kids.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, songs get a little boring after you have to play them a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know about changing them up, because that's always weird, That's disappointing. People want to hear the song, and they hear this weird, like, bongos version.
Right.
I'm not into that.
I got you. When you do, like tonight, you're playing center stage, supporting the solo disc, which is Phrazes for the Young. Mm-hmm. Do you have a phrase for the young?
No. No, yeah, I mean, there are, on the record.
We've got a guy in the station here who's got a phrase, just say maybe. I think that's a good phrase for the young.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So that would work. Maybe
Teenage suicide, don't do it.
Because that's also bad. Permanent, from what I understand. And so when you do a show that's solo, like tonight, do you work in any stroke songs or just straight Julian Casablancas solo stuff?
Pretty straight. We do some B-sides. We do some, kind of go all over the place. We might do a stroke song. Perhaps.
But more than that, do you ever work in any like cover tunes, stuff that maybe the other guys in the band don't want to hear, but you're like, man, I want to cover this song and do it?
I don't think we're doing any covers. No, it's a good idea though.
If you had to pick, what would you pick if you could cover a tune? What jumps into the head?
I've been kind of thinking of covering "Dancing in the Dark," the Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah. Pete Yorn did a version of that it was like really slow and haunting. And I never got that interpretation from the original, because I just pictured the boss, and moving and going, and then Pete Yorn comes out, and you're like, I've never really thought about killing myself listening to that song, but Pete Yorn's version is right close to doing that. So I think it'd be a fun one. Is that something that you would sit and just figure out your way of doing it, or would you try to stay true to the original if you decided to do a cover tune?
I think I would probably maybe go the opposite way of Pete Y, and just maybe like fast it up a little, kind of like
make it super exciting.
No, I don't know, but it's.
Well, I'm gonna expect to see that in the next couple of weeks when I go to setlist.com and I look up your sets from the various shows. I'm gonna go, not there this week, and then see "Dancing in the Dark," because I think you could rock it.
Yeah, it was because I think I was at a Beck show and they started a song and I thought for some reason that they were playing "Dancing in the Dark."
Yeah,
and it was so weird and like blew my mind, and I was like, whoa, what? And then it wasn't, and I was like, man, if it was though, it would have been the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bummed when it wasn't. A few things that happened to me like that. Like Bruce Almighty, the Jim Carrey movie.
Yep.
I was on a plane and it started. And there was like this classical music playing with the credits. And he was talking. And I was like, man, this is like the most powerful beginning. Like this. I didn't know I was in for this like amazing movie.
Right.
And I was still like listening to like the classical station on the plane. Like
right.
the wrong.
Oh, I got you.
And he actually put it on. It's like, just not so hip.
Right, you're like, oh, this is going to be an amazing movie. And, it's Bach you're listening to, or Mendelssohn, instead of whatever cheesy thing they've got movie-wise.